Dublin, Ireland, on Halloween, was a city alive with a vibrant energy, its historic pubs echoing with laughter, its cobbled streets bustling with costumed revelers. Yet within the hallowed halls of Trinity College, specifically in its iconic long room, a different kind of ancient spirit stirred. This magnificent library, housing over 200,000 of the oldest books, including the legendary Book of Kells, was renowned not just for its breathtaking architecture, but for its persistent tales of spectral scholars and disembodied whispers. For Dr. Alistair Finch, a celebrated bibliophile and a staunch disbeliever in the supernatural, this Halloween was a professional pilgrimage. He had gained exclusive overnight access to the long room, convinced that the reported phantom presences and chilling cold spots were merely sophisticated auditory illusions and environmental anomalies, products of the library's unique acoustics and ancient atmosphere. Rather than genuine paranormal manifestations, his objective: to establish a definitive acoustic and historical profile of the hauntings, aiming to provide a scientific explanation for the auditory phenomena, or if nothing manifested, to offer a final, empirical closure to the ghostly tales. Alistair, whose keen ear for sonic detail and unwavering scientific skepticism protected a deep, almost academic fascination with human credulity, dismissed the countless anecdotes of ghostly academics and phantom-turning pages as charming but ultimately unfounded superstitions. He believed every eerie sensation had a rational explanation: drafts, the creaking of ancient shelves, or the power of expectation amplified by the library's unique echo. His team consisted of two equally pragmatic but increasingly uneasy graduate students, Clara and Leo, who shared his academic rigor but less of his stoicism in the face of the library's chilling reputation. They arrived at Trinity College on the evening of October 31st, the crisp Dublin air carrying the earthy scent of old parchment, damp stone and a faint metallic tang, like forgotten ink and ancient dust. The imposing facade of Trinity College, with its grand archways and weathered stone, seemed to glower under the bruised purple and ominous orange twilight sky. A scattering of carved pumpkins, their glowing orange faces twisted into menacing grimaces, adorned the college gates and some internal archways. A festive gesture by the university, but their light seemed to pulsate with an unnerving, almost sentient intensity in the deepening gloom. Their designated study area was the long room itself, a vast, barrel-vaulted chamber filled with towering oak bookcases and the busts of great philosophers. This area was the epicenter of the library's most extreme claims, famous for sudden temperature drops, disembodied whispers, and the inexplicable feeling of being read to by an unseen presence. Alistair meticulously set up his specialized equipment: highly sensitive parabolic microphones, infrasound detectors, thermal cameras, and electromagnetic field (EMF) detectors, hoping to capture any subtle environmental anomalies. A single battery-operated jack-o'-lantern, its orange LED flickering steadily, sat on a nearby ancient reading desk, a practical light source among the sophisticated gadgets, and a defiant symbol against the gallery's grim history, hours past. The initial data was frustratingly inconclusive. Microphones picked up nothing but the distant hum of the city, filtered by the thick stone. Thermal cameras registered no unusual heat signatures, and infrasound detectors remained silent. Alistair, his voice calm and analytical, began his video log, a hint of professional satisfaction in his tone. As expected, he stated, adjusting his headphones, the long room, despite its notorious reputation, presents no evidence of genuine supernatural auditory phenomena. The library's hauntings, in all likelihood, are fascinating acoustic effects, a testament to its unique architecture, but not active entities. But as the clock's ancient chimes echoed midnight, marking the shift to All Hallows Day, a profound and undeniable shift occurred. The temperature in the long room plummeted so rapidly that Alistair could see his breath. His thermal camera flared with an icy blue, confirming the inexplicable drop. Then his EMF detector, previously dormant, screamed to life, its red lights flashing violently, registering a massive electromagnetic surge emanating from the very center of the long room. Near the Book of Kells exhibit, a faint, rhythmic rustling sound, like ancient pages turning in unison, began to emanate from the towering bookshelves. It wasn't loud, but it was insistent, rhythmic, growing in intensity, permeating their very bones. Alistair froze, his scientific composure utterly shattered by a primal wave of fear. This was not an acoustic anomaly. This was intelligent. This was active. Is anyone here? Alistair whispered, his voice tight with a fear he hadn't anticipated. The rustling stopped abruptly. A guttural moan, low and laden with profound agony and ancient malevolence, filled the long room, echoing from all directions as if coming from the very books themselves. It was the sound of unspeakable suffering, centuries old. Then from the deepest shadow of the bookshelves, a shimmering, translucent figure began to coalesce. It was indistinct at first, like swirling smoke, but slowly, horrifyingly, it began to take the shape of a scholar. His features were gaunt, his eyes hollow pits of despair, yet burning with an intense pulsating orange light. His body was clad in a tattered spectral academic gown, his translucent hands clutching a spectral ancient book. His presence radiated an overwhelming aura of ancient evil, frustrated rage and predatory intent. This was not a residual haunting. This was an intelligent entity, a revenant. Alistair recognized him from obscure Trinity College archives as Dr. Ronan Kelly, a brilliant but reclusive scholar who vanished mysteriously in the late 18th century, his spirit forever bound by his tormented academic quest and a dark, forgotten pact. And he was here. Alistair's academic detachment dissolved completely. This was real, terrifyingly, impossibly real. "Kelly!" Alistair stammered, clutching his recording device. Dr. Ronan Kelly, the spectral scholar, did not speak. Instead, a torrent of vivid, horrifying images flooded Alistair's mind. Late 18th century Dublin, a city on the cusp of enlightenment, yet still clinging to ancient superstitions. He saw Ronan, not as a mere scholar, but as a young man driven by a profound, almost obsessive, hunger for forbidden knowledge. He discovered a secret society, the Script of Shadows, operating within Trinity College, performing dark rituals to harness the potent intellectual energies of the library, seeking to open a temporal rift, a thinning of the veil, specifically on Halloween, when the spiritual energies were at their peak. The countless lost books and forgotten manuscripts were not mere historical accidents. They were deliberate acts, ritualistic sacrifices to open a gateway to another dimension. A void of eternal knowledge, Ronan, a willing participant and eventual victim, was silenced, his spirit trapped, bound to the library not as a victim, but as an unwitting guardian, a key to a powerful portal. The entity he served was not malevolent, but an ancient cosmic force of pure information that sought entry, using the library's vast knowledge as its anchor. Ronan's torment was not directed at the library, but at those who trapped him, preventing his passage, forcing him to witness the endless attempts to open the rift. The pumpkins outside, Alistair realized, were not just festive. They were unintended beacons, their orange glow mirroring Ronan's tormented eyes. Drawing the entity's attention to the surface, the images clarified a horrifying truth. Trinity College Library was not just haunted, it was a cosmic anchor, a prison, and a gateway. Dr. Ronan Kelly was merely a sentinel, his torment a byproduct of a much larger, ancient ritual. The parasitic entity, an ancient, alien intelligence of pure, consuming knowledge, was the true power behind the library's hauntings, bound to the long room and on Halloween. Its hunger for entry was at its apex, demanding not just human fear, but a complete forfeiture of intellect, a tearing of the fabric of understanding to become its permanent conduit. And Alistair's meticulous analytical mind, which had delved so deeply into its domain, made him the perfect vessel for its eternal passage into oblivion. The long room grew colder, thicker with unseen presences. Alistair felt phantom hands, bony and icy, pulling at his clothes, tearing at his skin. Clara and Leo huddled together, whimpering. The EMF detector screamed, its red lights a blinding, ceaseless red. The whispers, a cacophony of ancient cosmic chants and guttural demands for passage, filled his mind. Read, read, understand all, release us. Eternal knowledge. The spectral Ronan glided closer, his hollow orange eyes fixed on Alistair. His translucent hand, clutching the spectral book, reached out not for his throat but for his mind, seeking to transfer the unending burden of his frustrated rage and the entity's cosmic grasp. Join our reading, his silent voice echoed in Alistair's thoughts. Witness the true knowledge. Unleash the void. Alistair, caught between terror and a sudden profound understanding, fought against the mental intrusion. He recalled an obscure passage from an old Irish folklore book, dismissed as a meaningless fragment, a symbol of the scholar's shield, an ancient Celtic glyph that, if invoked with genuine courage and a pure intention to protect the sanctity of knowledge, could temporarily disrupt the cosmic entity's hold on its anchor, forcing it to retreat to its dimension. The glyph, a stylized Celtic knot surrounding an open book, was believed to be effective only on Samhain, when the veil was thinnest, and if dedicated to an act of genuine respect for the pursuit of wisdom and defiance against overwhelming cosmic evil. With a desperate surge of adrenaline, Alistair broke free from the mental hold. "No," he gasped, forcing the word out, his voice echoing through the long room. "I will not become your vessel. I will not unleash your void." He began frantically drawing the scholar's shield glyph on the dusty wooden floor with his finger, recalling every detail from the folklore book. Clara, despite her terror, saw his desperate effort and, remembering a similar diagram from an old manuscript, instinctively helped him complete the intricate pattern. Leo, though still trembling, focused the portable spotlight on the glyph, amplifying its presence. The phantom hands still tugged, but less with malevolence, more with a desperate, bleeding urgency for completion of the ritual. As the glyph was completed, it pulsed with a faint, shimmering golden light, starkly contrasting with the dominant orange. The spectral Ronan roared, a sound of ancient fury, his form flickering violently. The orange glow in his eyes wavered, replaced by a momentary flash of frustration, then pure, unadulterated hatred. Ronan lunged, but as he crossed the boundary of the glowing glyph, his form distorted, shimmering violently, as if struggling against an invisible barrier. The ancient cosmic chants and whispers ceased abruptly. The surrounding shadowy figures, the remnants of the script of Shadow's influence, recoiled, their orange glows dimming to nothing. Alistair, seizing the moment, remembered another detail from the folklore. The entity's ultimate weakness was exposure to raw, untamed human creativity and the sounds of pure, unadulterated storytelling. Sounds that mirrored the balance of the natural world and the human spirit, not the consuming knowledge it preferred. He looked at his small LED-lit pumpkin, still flickering on the reading desk. It was a simple, harmless object, but now it felt like a conduit for a different kind of power. With a desperate prayer for human creativity and the sanctity of stories, Alistair grabbed the pumpkin. "This is not your void, entity!" he screamed, his voice ringing with defiance. "This is the sound of stories, the wisdom of humanity." He hurled the glowing pumpkin towards Ronan. The pumpkin struck the spectral form, not with force, but with a sudden, blinding burst of pure golden light, accompanied by the ethereal, soaring sound of 1,000 forgotten tales being told in harmony. Ronan convulsed violently, letting out a final ear-splitting shriek that tore through the long room, a sound of ancient pain and absolute defeat. His terrifying form dissolved into shimmering golden particles that drifted upwards through the ancient vaulted ceiling, ascending into an unseen, ethereal light, finally banished from the physical realm. The long room returned to its chilling stillness, but the oppressive malevolence was gone. The EMF detector fell silent, the temperature normalized. The pervasive scent of decay vanished, replaced by a faint, clean smell of old parchment and crisp Dublin air. Emerging from Trinity College at dawn, Alistair Finch was a changed man. His academic logic was utterly shattered, replaced by a profound conviction in the existence of something far older and more terrifying than mere acoustic phenomena. His bibliophile quest had led him to a spiritual confrontation and, unexpectedly, to a victory over an ancient cosmic malevolence. He never again sought to simply record. He sought to understand, to respect, and to protect. His video log, initially a quest for scientific debunking, became a testament to a genuine encounter with the supernatural, watched by thousands. He never returned to purely debunking haunted locations. Instead, working with Clara and Leo, and with the support of the library's historical trust, he used his platform to advocate for the respectful preservation of such sites, recognizing their potent living history. He published The Scholar's Shield, Ronan Kelly, and the Unread Curse, detailing not just the historical context of the library, but his terrifying encounter, the true nature of the entity, and the ritual that bound it. From that Halloween forward, the grim legends of the Whispering Library began to shift. Fewer aggressive hauntings were reported. Visitors spoke of a palpable sense of peace in the long room, a subtle presence, but no longer one of malevolence. The entity was banished, Ronan's spirit finally found its release, and Dr. Alistair Finch, the once cynical bibliophile, became an unlikely guardian of Dublin's spectral history, ensuring that on every Halloween, the chilling tale of Trinity College was remembered, not as a mere historical curiosity, but as a poignant narrative of ancient evil, confronted and finally a hard-won peace. The jack-o'-lantern outside Trinity College became a permanent fixture, always lit, a silent vigil against the shadows. Its orange glow, a beacon of hope for the whispering walls and the silent choir within.